$5 trillion smart city boom isn't coming. It's already underway. Cities across the globe are being quietly rebuilt, not with concrete, but with code. And while most are still talking about EVs and solar panels, insiders are moving fast on AI-operated city grids, digital twins, and autonomous governance. By the time this hits mainstream media, it'll be too late to catch the next wave. So let me show you what's really happening, and where the opportunity still is. We've analyzed investment flows from the top 50 urban innovation funds, procurement timelines from Dubai to Tokyo, and the core tech stacks behind the cities most people haven't even heard of yet. The result? A tactical breakdown of the 5 forces driving this transformation, and the critical moves governments, builders, and investors are making right now in 2025. If you're in tech, real estate, policy, or infrastructure, this is how you stay 6 months ahead. Because this next phase, it won't reward the loudest. It'll reward the most embedded. Here's what nobody's talking about. Smart cities aren't just getting smarter. They're becoming fully programmable ecosystems. In 2025, we've reached an inflection point. It's not about sensors on streetlights or free Wi-Fi downtown anymore. It's about real-time adaptive systems that control traffic, energy, and even security decisions, with zero human input. NEOM in Saudi Arabia is running AI-managed water infrastructure, adjusting distribution dynamically based on real-time consumption and predictive desert weather models. Singapore's digital twin? It now simulates urban airflow and sunlight to optimize zoning decisions before a single building is approved. Meanwhile, Seoul just integrated a generative AI model into their 3D city control tower, giving government officials a live, conversational interface to query city data across housing, transport, and emergencies. And here's why that matters. Because once a city becomes software-defined, its governance, investment models, and citizen experience are all up for reprogramming. We're not just urban planning anymore. We're system designing at the city scale. If you're in AI, this is your entry point. Digital twin modeling, edge compute infrastructure, urban LLM copilots. If you're in real estate or construction, the approvals, financing, and valuations will all start flowing through algorithmic channels. You're no longer just building in a city. You're interfacing with a platform. And this unlocks something much bigger. Because once cities can be simulated like code, the next battleground becomes optimization. Who gets to decide what better means, and who programs the values into these systems? Now, stay with me, because the next shift is where policy meets computation. Here's the part nobody's ready for. City governance is no longer just political. It's computational. In 2025, we're watching the rise of algorithmic governance layers quietly taking over operational decision-making. And it's not theoretical. Barcelona's mobility system now dynamically adjusts traffic light patterns, public transit density, and even road pricing, driven entirely by predictive AI models. No council meetings, no public debates, just live data shaping real-world outcomes. In Estonia, the government's CRAT AI system handles permits, tax inquiries, and citizen services, automatically routing decisions across departments 24/7 with no human bottlenecks. And in China, dozens of pilot cities are already trialing urban score systems that fuse environmental, economic, and behavioral data into real-time incentive policies, offering subsidies, access, or restrictions based on AI-driven thresholds. This confirms exactly what I've been warning about. Governance is becoming autonomous, not fully, but functionally. And if you don't understand the logic baked into these systems, you don't understand the rules of the world you're living in. Here's why it matters. For entrepreneurs, this is an open field. AI governance tooling, civic LLM agents, regulatory simulators. These are the new SaaS plays built for city-scale clients. For citizens, you're entering an era where your access to services, subsidies, or even mobility might be influenced or limited by algorithmic logic. And for policymakers, this is the reckoning, because once machine logic governs decisions, the role of legislation shifts from direct control to systemic auditing. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because as governance turns into code, the real power won't sit with elected leaders. It'll sit with the platforms and vendors training the models. Let me show you what comes next. If algorithms are the brain of future cities, infrastructure is the nervous system. And right now, only a few players control the wires. The real story isn't what you think. While everyone's watching AI model wars, the strategic advantage is shifting to those who own the urban stack. Edge compute networks, sensor grids, sovereign data lakes, and localized model deployment. Dubai, quietly deploying federated AI systems at the city block level, processing data from cameras, utilities, traffic, and payments without leaving jurisdiction. Real-time feedback. No cloud latency. No external dependencies. Singapore, their Smart Nation platform now integrates housing, health, transport, and education under a single AI-optimized infrastructure fabric. One API call can now simulate city-wide impact across departments. Meanwhile, in the US, infrastructure is fragmented. Cities rent cloud compute from Amazon or Microsoft. They outsource AI to startups with no visibility into model provenance or data integrity. That's not sovereignty. It's dependency at scale. Here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. The future of autonomy, personal, civic, national, depends on AI infrastructure ownership. If your city doesn't control its models, its data, and its compute, it's just an interface for someone else's system. And that reshapes the entire market. Investors are now eyeing edge compute startups, sovereign AI infrastructure builders, and civic-grade data networks. These aren't flashy consumer tools. They're the plumbing of civilization, and the next trillion-dollar platform wars start here. Now stay with me, because the next piece reveals where this is all converging. Here's what nobody's putting together yet. The rise of urban AI and personal agents isn't happening in parallel. It's converging into something far more powerful and far more unstable. Imagine this. You have an AI agent that books your doctor appointment, disputes your parking ticket, and optimizes your tax deductions. That's not science fiction. That's happening right now in Seoul, Tokyo, and parts of the UAE. But here's the twist. Those agents aren't just using ChatGPT or Claude. They're tapping directly into city-level APIs, autonomous infrastructure, and proprietary government datasets. That's not just personalization. That's system-level intelligence. Now flip the perspective. From the city side, these AI agents are data sources. They provide real-time behavioral telemetry, how people move, buy, vote, and engage. When aggregated, it forms a dynamic simulation layer, a living map of the entire population's intent. But here's where it gets even more interesting. When personal agents start optimizing against the system, say, routing around tolls, auto-filing legal exemptions, or hacking local subsidies, the city's AI has to counter-optimize. We are entering a world of algorithmic negotiation between citizens and systems. And in some cities, it's already breaking. In California, multiple municipalities are overwhelmed by automated filings, AI-powered appeals, and synthetic identity abuse, all powered by cheap agent tooling. This isn't just a digital disruption. It's a governance crisis, and it's spreading fast. The convergence of personal AI, urban AI, and geopolitical AI creates a zero-sum terrain. When China deploys city-scale AI for surveillance and social credit, the US has to respond, just to maintain strategic parity. This is what's really happening beneath the headlines. And the final layer, the one that will redefine power, privacy, and economics, is coming next. Let me show you what that looks like. This is the part nobody's ready for. Because AI isn't just a product or a platform anymore. It's becoming something much more primal. Territory. Whoever controls the model controls the memory. Whoever controls the agent controls the interface. And whoever controls the infrastructure controls the future. That's why nations are no longer just racing to build better models. They're treating AI like sovereign land. The UAE isn't funding open models for open source. They're building an AI statecraft layer. Falcon isn't a gift to the world. It's a claim on influence. China's not just training LLMs. They're embedding them into policy infrastructure, propaganda systems, and national education. Their AI isn't designed for free speech. It's designed to enforce ideology at scale. Meanwhile, in the West, we're seeing the quiet militarization of AI agents, autonomous threat modeling, drone coordination, disinformation filters. And here's the chilling part. When agents act autonomously, and every nation-state builds their own model stack with guardrails aligned to different values, truth fractures. Reality becomes plural. What's accurate in one system is misinformation in another. What's permitted here is censored there. And the battle isn't on the battlefield, it's in the model weights. This is why the frontier is no longer just about intelligence. It's about sovereignty. AI isn't just software anymore. It's infrastructure. It's policy. It's soft power with hard consequences. And if you're not thinking geopolitically about AI, you're already behind. But here's the good news. The smartest operators are already adapting. And the final segment will show you how. Let's wrap this up. Here's what we now know. AI isn't just a race between companies. It's a cold war between infrastructures. OpenAI and Anthropic are no longer just building models. They're building ecosystems, embedding themselves into agents, interfaces, and institutions. Foundational models are becoming operating systems. Agents are turning into autonomous workforces. And every major player, from startups to superpowers, is fighting to control the stack, the memory, and the narrative. The winners? They'll be the ones who embed, who own their data, who collapse the gap between intelligence and action. Here's my bold prediction. By the end of 2025, most of what we call apps will be obsolete. Your default interface to everything, from work to finance to healthcare, will be an AI agent built on a sovereign model stack, answering only to its incentives and its infrastructure. And those who understand this shift now, they'll own the next decade. That's why Urban Plus Innovate exists, to keep you 6 months ahead, while the rest react to headlines. In our next deep dive, I'll show you why Meta's open-weight strategy isn't just about community. It's a calculated move to dominate global infrastructure, one free model at a time. But for now, I want to hear from you. Which agent do you trust to run your business or your life? Are you building with OpenAI, Claude, or something entirely different? Drop it in the comments. We're watching. And remember, in this AI war, timing is leverage. Stay early. Stay dangerous. Stay sharp with Urban Plus Innovate.